Hi, I'm David Council from Inferno Marketing and Design, and welcome to another Insider Marketing Secret. Now, in a moment, we're going to talk about launching a website and an app on a budget. But before we do that, let me just remind you, if you know someone who could use some help with their advertising and marketing, then please put them in touch with us or us in touch with them. We'd love to have a chat with them. It's no obligation, no hassle, and no pressure. All you've got to do is let us know or let them know, one or the other. You can sort it out. And to say thank you to you, we'd love to send you a bottle of Tasmanian wine, just for thinking about us. All right, here's an insider marketing secret, and this one's by request. I received a tweet the other day from Janita Blinko. Gee, I hope I got that right, Janita. And Janita was actually sending us a tweet to say, hey, thanks very much. I tweeted her back and said, if there's anything you'd like us to have a chat about on Insider Marketing Secrets, then let us know. Well, she did. She'd like to know how to launch a website and also how to launch an app on a budget. Look, before I get too deep into it, let me just mention, a lot of people ask us about apps every day. And I've got to tell you, unless you're setting up a game or something along that line, having an app is not necessarily a great thing to do. You see, most of what you can do on a website can be done in an app. So all you're doing is adding another layer of cost to your business. And you're also adding a lot of hassle when it comes to wanting to update something. You see, on a website, you can update something instantly. Whereas if you're updating an app, you've got to do the update, you've got to have it uploaded, you've got to have people download it onto their phones or their iPads, and it's got to work properly for them. So just think twice before deciding that an app is something you've got to have. But how do you do it on a budget? Right, well, it depends on, how big your budget is. Obviously, if you're McDonald's, your pockets are a lot deeper than if you're the local florist. But here's a couple of things you can do to get your website and your app launched on a budget. First of all, ask yourself, how many suppliers, how many people do you know, how many good customers do you have, and get in touch with all of them. And find out if they've got Facebook or Twitter or some sort of social media that they use. And then ask them if you can do a quid pro quo. And that's getting them to promote your website or your app on their Facebook feed or their social media feed, and you'll do the same for them in return at a later date when they need help. That gives you access to a huge audience straight away. A lot of your friends and customers and suppliers will already have pre-done audiences. You could be talking to tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people just by doing that. And what does it cost you? Absolutely nothing. The next thing I'd do is also contact people who blog. If there are bloggers in your area of interest, I'd be in touch with them straight away. Give them copies of your app or preview to your website before you launch it, and ask them if they'd like a bit of input into what you're putting onto your website. That way, a bit of feedback from them, and they will then post for you on their blog. Well, maybe not necessarily, but if you ask them nicely. Now, both of those things have cost you absolutely nothing. The next thing I'd do is press release everybody. Seriously, use your social media, get in touch with newspapers, radio stations, television stations, and get your message out there to those people. Now, 99.9% of people are not going to be interested. However, the 1% that you do find that are interested will help you reach that audience. And another thing that you could do, especially if you're on a budget, is promote your business using YouTube. After all, it's the second biggest search engine in the world. And really, you can have a different range of ads that you can use on YouTube to get your message out there. And once again, a bit like any of these social medias, it's a database. So you can create a smaller audience. You don't have to advertise to everybody. You can niche your audience down so that you're getting your message in front of the right people. And of course, don't rule out Google AdWords. Google AdWords is a great way to promote your business, very cost effective, and a great way to niche it down. It'll also give you an interesting way to be able to test your website or your app using geographic targeting and targeting using their database. So there you go, a couple of very straightforward ideas that you can use to launch your web or your app at a very low cost. I remind you again, if you are thinking about doing that app, please test out what you're doing on a website first. Far more cost effective than it will be going to the expense of building an app. Apps are complicated. You really have to have all of your ducks in a row from the very beginning so that you don't make any mistakes. After all, if you tell a coder to do something, that's what they do. If you've made a mistake, they fix it, but it's going to cost you in terms of dollars. All right, until next time, I look forward to talking to you about advertising and marketing. I'm David Council from Inferno Marketing and Designs. I'll talk to you then.